and welcome back to the Knitter's Closet. I'm your host, Melissa. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as The Knitter's Closet. This is episode 24. Welcome to any new viewers joining us today, and welcome back to all our subscribers. We're happy to have you back. I know it's been a while. As a result, I have about 3 months worth of knitting to talk to you guys about, and whoa Nelly, it's a lot of knitting. So strap in, get comfy, maybe get yourself some hydration. It's gonna be a hot minute. I do want to take a minute just quickly to address the current state of the world. I know a lot of people are dealing with coronavirus and have been for a while. I am personally on day 103 of working from home / self-quarantining. Both of my parents are very high risk. My mother even more so recently. They just found out that my mom has several heart blockages, so she's going to be needing some emergency heart surgery very soon. So my husband and I have made the decision to just keep quarantining for now. We do very little food delivery, very little food takeout. We have our groceries delivered. We do have a few close friends that we go and visit that we know are being just as diligent as we are. And that's mainly because, you know, I have a 6-year-old and she needs to socialize. She's a very social person. And we probably quarantined for about 80 days before we really ventured out into going other places and doing other things. I did visit my friend Kristen, who you guys have met previously on podcasts. We did go down to South Carolina to hang out with her and her family. They had been quarantined for quite a long time, same as us, and we basically just hung out of the house and swam in their pool all weekend and didn't go anywhere else. So that was fun, and yeah, it's been crazy. It's been really crazy. Other than coronavirus, we are dealing now, of course, with the global Black Lives Matter movement, and I am here for it. You know, everyone in the knitting community has kind of been having these conversations for a year or so now, which kind of has prepared me to have these conversations more with the public at large, which is really nice. And obviously, if you guys don't know where I stand on this, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, Black Lives do matter. I support the movement wholeheartedly, and I do work towards being an anti-racist every day of my life. I have these discussions, sometimes heated, with my parents, who are obviously of an older generation and don't necessarily know that what they're doing is wrong or how they've benefited from these systems. They just don't understand. And so, you know, trying to take the time and chip away at that thought process for them is sometimes very heated and very frustrating, to say the least. So my mental health has been up and down and up and down and up and down again, and for the most part it's been pretty down. This last week has been pretty bad, you know, in combination with just everything that's going on in the world, and then the news of my mom, and one of my bosses didn't leave the company. He didn't get a promotion. He moved from one region of the company to another region of the company, and I've been working side by side with him for 15 years. And so he's not just a boss, he's become family, he's become friend, and you know, there's something rare to a person that you can call a boss, and you know, there's respect on both sides and there's a partnership. I never felt, you know, even though he gave me reviews, even though he was my boss, I never felt as though I was anything less than an equal to him. And So him leaving this week has been really hard on me. I've noticed coming for quite a while. I've known since last year. But this week, his last day was Friday, and so, you know, he was asking me to do things to help with his transition, so it really made it real. And it just, by the time I clocked out of work on Friday, I was just done. I was drained. Friday was when I got the news about my mom, and Friday was the last day of his, and then, you know, we've got everything going on in the world, and I just, I was done. It was a mess. I am on vacation this week, so I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of knitting done this week. Not that I haven't really gotten a bunch of knitting done this 3 months. But now, you know, without having to stop and type emails and work, it'll be a lot easier. I have been getting quite a bit more knitting than I would normally get done in 3 months, only because I am working from home. My company has been incredibly generous. As soon as the schools were shut down, my bosses, even before there was company direction, were basically already working towards getting me the tools that I needed to work from home, so I'm very grateful to them. And, you know, we found out schools were closed, I think, on a Wednesday, and no, I think we found out on a Thursday that schools were closing. And I would have worked from home starting that Monday, but I had to go in and get my laptop reconfigured and all that, and I have to do that hardwired from one of our locations. I can't do it remotely, so my husband took my daughter for part of the morning since he works nights, and then when he had to go to sleep, he dropped her off at my office, and she, you know, came and hung out with me for a couple hours while I got everything ready and set and to go, and I packed up everything and carted away all my stuff in a shopping cart to my car. So it's been interesting. I haven't noticed any difference in working from home than from working in my office. I know some of you may have watched my my Vlogmas. I have lost my mind. You guys, it's been a while since I've podcasted, so I apologize now, one, if this is rambly, and two, if I completely forget my words sometimes. But anyways, so some of you may have watched my Vlogmas. You may have seen my little office set up. It's a tiny little office located in the back of a retail space. I do work for a major retail corporation. But I am on the corporate level, so I do have quite a bit of privilege being at the corporate level, being able to take my work home with me. And at this time I am super, super thankful for it. Despite being very sort of almost quarantined in and of itself where my office space was, we just didn't have care for my daughter when schools were let out because you know, of course, all the daycares were starting to close down, and then then my parents who would normally watch her were high risk, so we didn't want to expose them to my daughter at the time because we didn't know what was going on, basically. I mean, that was in March, so yeah. And as of right now, my job has no plans to return me back to my office. So this may be made a permanent thing, which kind of fingers crossing, hoping for, because, you know, saving on daycare costs alone is a massive, massive relief and benefit to me that costs my company no money. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll happen. I think that's all I have for right now. So let's stop with me rambling, because there's been a lot of it already. I mean, we're not even 10 minutes into the podcast, and I haven't talked about knitting yet. So let me go over my notes. I originally recorded a episode back in April. Obviously, it never aired. So some of my notes are from that, and then you can see, like, I don't normally my notes are a little bit more organized, but you can see I've got arrows and marks and all that stuff. So, because a lot of the items that were works in progress are now finished items and stuff like that. So let's see what we've got on the top of my pile. These will be in no particular order, just because I've kind of thrown them as I can get them on here. So I'm just going to kind of start at the top of the pile and work my way down. Some of you will have recognized that I was working on my last episode. Some of them are going to say I never saw you working on that, and that's okay. So yeah, let's get into it. So my works in progress, my finished objects section is going to be massive. My works in progress section is going to be 2 projects. And then my needle adjacent projects will be a little bit, I think I've got 2 needle adjacent projects, technically 3. So I found that during the quarantine I have been really monogamous with my projects. I am normally kind of all over the place and I'll jump from one project to another, but I have found that with my anxiety and you know, dealing with just trying to keep my mental health in check, I have found that just grabbing one project and working on that one project and not stretching myself too thin on other projects has really been what's kind of kept me focused and sane. So, as is, I've got a lot of projects finished. First one up is a flax. This is a original flax. It is the Tin Can Knits flax, the worsted version. This is a Dream in Color, classy color called Old Vine. You can see it is a very gorgeous variegated yarn. There is a little bit of pulling down at the bottom, even though I did actually alternate skeins quite a bit. This is actually my very first long sleeve sweater that I have knit. This is not my only long sleeve sweater in my pile, surprisingly, but it is my very first long sleeve sweater for me. What I wanted, especially when I finished this, I think I finished it in March, was I just wanted something oversized and comfortable that I could just kind of throw on over other shirts and I could kind of curl up in and that kind of thing. I obviously not wearing a sweater now because it is almost July and I am still in my tiny closet, so it gets warm in here. So I will post a picture up here of what it looks like on. And again, I just fell back to one of my old basics, is the Tin Can Flax pattern, whether it's the light version or the worsted version. I absolutely love this pattern. It is super size inclusive, and it's free. It ranges from baby sizes all the way up to adult sizes, and it's so well written and it's so easily modified. The way I modified this one was, instead of doing a ribbed neckband, I just went ahead and let it roll. So it's just a rolled neckband, which makes it like sit just really kind of open and boat necky on the shoulders. And then I did omit the garter stitch ridge panel all the way down the bottom of the sleeves. And then I did, I don't believe I did any, I'm just checking to make sure I'm not lying to you on this, but I don't believe I did any, I didn't. I did not do any decreases on the sleeves, and then what I did was, when I got down to the bottom of the sleeve, you can see it kind of decreases sharply. So I basically just got to this point and then looked at how many stitches were started with and how many stitches you're supposed to end with, went and got a knitting calculator to decrease evenly, and just did a really quick decrease row so that I got sort of like a balloonish puffy sleeve. Like I said, I wanted this to be really super baggy, just really comfortable to just pop on over just about anything I was currently wearing and just wear around the house. So yeah. And the yarn is, I know I mentioned it, it's the Dream in Color Classy, which is, I believe, a merino cashmere blend. Or no, that might be their Comfy, Dream in Color Comfy. It is a merino blend, I do know that. And I apologize, I don't have the yarn bands on me. I do know that the colorway is Old Vine. I believe this was about 3, maybe 4 skeins of yarn for me. And because it was worsted, super quick knit. Oh, I had so much fun knitting this one. That one knit up probably in about a week-ish. And next up on my list is a finished sweater. It is long sleeve, and unfortunately I can't show you any of it. This is a super secret test knit. I'm going to show you this. That's all I can show you right now. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can show you. Starting July 3rd, I have permission from the designer Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn to start showing off pictures of this. And so if you follow me on my Instagram, you'll be able to see this. It is a colorwork yoke. And I used all of her yarns, the pink color, and I apologize, I don't remember the names of the colors. I believe the pink is a Druid color, is called Druid. I'm not 100%. But it is 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. There is a full color work yoke. There is color work on the sleeves at the bottoms, and then there is color work on the hem, and then it goes into ribbing. And I absolutely love it. I knit it in a full-length sleeve, which is amazing for me because I usually never do that. There is a bit of Surrey alpaca in the color work. She uses that, not held double with anything. It's just as is, held with some of the color work, and it is just, oh, and it's Tristan's Surrey alpaca base, the baby melted Surrey, and it's like knitting with a cloud. It's so nice. Once I can show this off to you guys, I will come back and show you finished objects on the bring it back to the finished objects section of the podcast, because I do want to show it off. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite test knits. And I am actually, I'll come back to doing test knits with Tristan in a few minutes, because I am actually getting ready to do another one for her. I've had some finished objects that I can't show you because I've been doing some sample knitting. I did a sample knit shawl. I've done 2 of them now for Crabapple Yarns. One was the Hug Shot shawl by Castle Pinka. I will post pictures because I have already sent it off, so I can't show you. So as soon as Amanda of Crabapple posts those pictures, I'll put those up, because I didn't take pictures either because she does all the blocking, which is fantastic because I am awful at blocking anything other than a sweater, which is usually pretty straightforward. And then I also did the True Color shawl, and I apologize, I have to look that one up. The True Color shawl is by Melanie Berg. And it was done in a gorgeous sample. Here we go. I'll post a screenshot of it here, but just so you guys can see it there. Let's see if it, there we go. That's the one I did. Isn't it super pretty? I really enjoyed knitting it. I have, you guys know me, I don't really knit shawls, not because I don't enjoy knitting them, but because I really just don't wear them. They're not for me. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. There's been very few shawls that I've ever really enjoyed wearing that I feel look good on me. I can tell you, I think the Hipster Shawl by Joji Locatelli was one of the ones that I really enjoyed knitting. I did that sample knit for Melissa of Rising Tide Fiber Company, and I really enjoyed the way that one looked on me. So I did buy yarn to knit another DK weight shawl, the Odyssey by Joji Locatelli. So it's very similar in style. I just didn't want to knit the Hipster again, so I am going to knit that one for myself. It'll probably be the only shawl I own. Because I just, like I said, I don't wear shawls. I prefer to wear a sweater if I want to stay warm rather than, you know, wearing a shawl. So it is what it is. The sample knitting has been really nice because it gives me a chance to work with yarns that I don't normally work with. And also it gives me a chance to work on patterns that I don't normally work with. I really, really enjoyed knitting both the Hug Shot and the True Color shawls, and I got to work with really beautiful yarns, and then I got to get paid for it, which was nice. So, you know, I have a nice deal that I'm working with Amanda, and it's worked out really nice, and hopefully she's very happy with the product I'm producing. And I hope to work with her again in the future. So that's been fun. So 2 shawls so far and 2 sweaters. Guys, I'm just like cranking right along, right? I do have another test knit. You guys know that I am a huge fan of test knitting for Jamie Hoffman of Knitosophy, and I test knit her halfway sweater, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. This was such a fun knit to knit. This is a merino, this is a Kid Silk Haze lace weight yarn held together with Holstgarn Super Soft in the color Comfrey. And then I have 2 different colors of the Kid Silk Haze. It's the Dream in Color Kid Silk Haze. And you can kind of see how the bottom is slightly different from the top. There is a very, very, it actually shows up a little bit more off camera than it does on camera, but you can kind of see right about here, halfway, the mohair changes colors. The top one is Out Beyond, and the bottom one is Her Charisma. Top one actually has a little bit more green in it, which is kind of hard to tell, but it's there. So this sweater is already out, so you can purchase it now if you really enjoy it. It has a sleeve that you pick up. So you do knit this in the round, but it is knit from the bottom up, and with an intarsia and German short row method. So it's a really interesting method. You'll have to, excuse me, my cat has climbed into my room and onto my bed and is eating a ball of yarn. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. So yeah, this was a great knit. I did knit this one just a slightly bit cropped. I'm not going to wear it today, obviously, because it's super, like, you can kind of see where the colors change a little bit. You can definitely see in the sleeve difference here. There you go. So you knit it top up, split for the sleeves. You do I love this bind off. You do the 3 needle bind off to bring the sleeves together, and then you pick up stitches for your sleeve. So it's tight. It's kind of, I knit mine with a lot less ease. It is meant to be boxy. I did knit this in a size that would have been a little looser on me when I started it just before the quarantine, and then of course, just like everyone else, I've gained a little weight during quarantine. So that's that one. It's a really fun knit. I've really enjoyed it. I am kind of sad that I have to pack all these away for summer. I'm gonna there we go. Put that out for now. Kind of sad I have to pack these all away for summer. I do really, really enjoy wearing my sweaters throughout the winter. So, let's see, do I have another sweater? Just making sure I don't. I do not. So I have those 3 sweaters, and then I felt like there was one more, but there's not. Because I did show off, just check my notes here. Like I said, it's been a while. Okay, so I did show off my swallowtail last time I was here. Alright, so let's move on. So we've got 3 sweaters and 2 shawls so far. We have a blanket that I finished. I tried to go through my stash and kind of take all of my yarn that's either acrylic or charity or just stuff that I bought on a whim that I will never really truly knit with, right? And so I think a couple years ago, my daughter picked out these colors. This is like a white with a pink purple base that matches this purple and this pink. This, of course, is a blanket for her. It's based off of the Garter Squish pattern from Stephen West. So it has a little bit of an I-cord border, which is super cool. It does go this way. However, she uses it going this way, mainly because I cast on way too many stitches. Let's see if I can half this so it makes sense here. So this is, yeah, I still can't fit it. There you go. This is it halved. So it's really super long. And then this is it halved. That's supposed to be the height. So she just turned it vertically. And so now it's a horizontal striped blanket instead of a it's a vertically striped blanket instead of a horizontal striped blanket. So, and what I did was I just took the yarn, I knit until it ended, switched the color, knit until it ended. I only had one ball of the pink, so I stuck that in the middle, went back to the purple, and then went back to that. So it was 5 balls of yarn all together, and she absolutely loves it. She thinks it's the softest thing ever. I hated knitting it, but I knitted up in probably a week, if that. I knitted on some pretty large size needles. I believe they were 8mm needles, if I remember correctly. So, and then I had a tiny bit left over, and I knit her up a little matching blanket with a little bit of purple I had left over and a little bit of the white I had left over for one of her stuffed animals. This is all in the, what is this called? Premier yarn. I believe this is from Michaels, and it's the Parfait. Now, there's 2 different kinds. There's the Parfait, excuse me. There's the Parfait Flavors, which is the white with the speckles, and then there's just Parfait, which is the solid 2 colors. The Parfait Flavors, for whatever reason, actually has less yardage. It's about 40 yards less for some reason. So that explains why the stripes in the solid colors are different from the stripes in the multicolors. But either way, that got rid of 5 skeins of yarn. I'm super happy about that because I am doing Stash Dash again this year. So I got 5 skeins of yarn out of my room from that. So that was super awesome. And Nora's super excited because she actually cuddles with this at night. She actually does use it. It is super soft, I got to admit that. It's kind of that fake Chanel kind of yarn, you know, where like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's, you know, it's on par with homespun yarn as far as yarns go in my book. It is what it is. So let's see. Blankets. What else did I finish? I finished the... Oh, I do have another sweater. I have another sweater, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to get it. And I have to get it out from under here because that is where it is. Let me find it. It's hidden. That's why I couldn't... Here we go. I had it written down. I did not actually remember to grab it, though. I did have another sweater. This is my V-Bag Tee by Jamie Hoffman of Knitosophy. So this is the front, although you could wear this, it is reversible, you could wear it either way. This is knit out of the Elsbeth Lavold Silky Wool. It is a DK weight wool. It is a silk mixture, so this is a 3-season sweater, which is really nice. This is the designer designed it so it is plain in the front, and so that the V, with a little bit of a slip stitch down the middle, actually goes down the back, but you could wear it either way. I did knit this one in a looser gauge since it is a three-season sweater. So, you know, I like a little looser sweater, looser, I don't think that's a word. Summer in the sweater in the summer. I can speak, I can do it. Yeah, so it's really nice. The wool was a little more rustic than I'm used to knitting with, but that was okay. This is wool I picked up on my husband and I's 10-year anniversary in December when we went up to the Antrim 1840 for our little bed and breakfast getaway. So I got to use up some stash. I believe I used 3 skeins of this. I'm not 100% sure on the yardage on that. And I believe I have some left over, but I'm not 100% positive where, and I apologize for that. But that is the V-Back Tee DK weight version by Jamie of Knitosophy. She just released that earlier this month, so it is available for sale. Oh, and the color on this one was the Oh So Original 57. And I'll post pictures of me wearing it here so you can get an idea of what it looks like on. Yeah. Alright, so, now we're up to 4 sweaters, 2 shawls, and a blanket. Now let's get on to some smaller knit. Oh, wait, I do have one last larger knit. Got caught in my thing. I finished my kushlag. I believe I have mentioned this one on the last podcast. Let me just check my notes. Oh, I did not. Okay. This is the kushlag, and I probably am pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I am to the designer. This is by Kristen Kimsey. The yarn is my Rising Tide Fiber Advent Calendar from 2019. And I used it in the order I got them in. So it starts down here. So this is the first one I got here. And then I would just go back and forth, 1, 2, depending on how the pattern had you do it. This was a very fun pattern. You picked up in your stitches as you went along. And it's just super nice garter stitch pattern with and the interest is completely in the colors. Now you can choose, the designer has it set so that you can use it with a skein with an advent of 24 minis, or you can use 5 skeins of yarn, and she shows you how to count those out. And I actually did have a good amount. I did this in the size 4. She does give you a couple different sizes to knit this in, so I did knit this in one of the larger sizes, and I still actually had plenty of yarn left over in my minis, so those minis are going to go into something else. This is most likely going to go to my mother as a Christmas gift this year. She's always asking for a shawl that she can wrap around her shoulders, and so she's finally getting this one, and it's beachy colors, which is perfect because beachy colors are just up her alley. That is her favorite kind of theme and her decorating style all the way, so that'll be really, really nice for her. So I may even decide to give it to her early after she has her bypass surgery if we get to go and see her, so that'll be something to think about. Alright, my last little projects, and then we're on to acquisitions and adjacent needles. I've been using all of my scraps lately, my worsted weight scraps, my bulky weight scraps, my DK weight scraps, to knit up some hats for charity. So the pattern I chose was the Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits. Shockingly, I did not leave out the garter stitch panel. I know it's super weird to say that because I normally totally leave out the garter stitch panel on the flax. And it is kind of, the sweater is kind of, the hat is kind of meant to match the sweater, so it's super funny that I would not leave it in on this one, or omit it on this one, but it is what it is. So I've been knitting these in various sizes and with various scraps. I do believe this is Cascade 220. This is some acrylic leftovers, and I believe this is some DK weight universal. I think that is what that is, but I'm not 100% positive. And I do have a couple others that are on the needles. I even have a bulky weight version one. I just knit a small size on the larger needle. And yeah, totally works. So 3 charity hats already done. Those are going again in the charity bin. Then I did finally finish my everyday slouchy beanie by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn. I'm super excited about this one and to wear it when the weather gets warmer or colder. Not warmer. Who wears a hat in warmer weather? The palm is from Toft UK. It is one of their alpaca ones. It is so super soft. The yarn is Magpie Fibers and the colorway is Moonstone. It is in their Swanky DK. And then the mohair that I held it with is the Rowan Kid Silk Haze in black. Super, super fun test knit, or not test knit, hat knit. You know, I love this hat. This is the 3rd one I've knit. I knit the one in Santa colorways. I've knit the purple and gray one that I love, so I did this one as well. And I have, I believe, one more in the works in a color, greenish, grayish color, greenish and yellowish colors. So I'll probably cast that on at some point this summer. So again, this is the Everyday Slouchy Beanie by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn. And then last but not least, I have some dishcloths. I have, for some reason, when all of the COVID-19 panic started, and of course the shortage on everything from paper towels to cleaning supplies and everything started, I was just, I don't know, I didn't lose my mind like everyone else. I didn't go out and hoard those things, but I did go out and buy 2 cones of cotton and start making myself some dishcloths, which is funny because I actually haven't used these yet. And here it is 100 days later. So I've got 5 dishcloths here. These are all the grandma's favorite dishcloth pattern, and I used the no holes version. And the only thing I did different was when I got to the last 3 stitches, instead of binding off, I just continued with an I-cord, and then I stitched that I-cord in, so I have a little handle for each of them. So super fun. I'm probably, I'm only halfway through 1 cone after knitting 5 of these. I can knit 1 a day, which is super awesome. I'm probably going to knit a bunch of other ones and give them away as Christmas gifts this year with maybe like a little fancy soap or something. I don't know. I have them. They're super quick to knit. Like I said, I can knit 1 in a day. And the colors are pretty neutral, so it's nice. There's a little bit of pink in it, but it's like a reddish pink. So, yeah. That's it. That's my, hold on. My huge pile of finished objects. You guys, look at that. That's a huge pile of finished objects. It's amazing. So let's move on to works in progress. Like I said, I've been super monogamous on my knitting, so I actually don't have a ton of knits in progress. I did go back and frog a couple of things that just wasn't working out for me. So one of my projects hanging out in my Nerdbird Makery Feminist Knit Club bag is a flax light for Nora. This is just a stash dash project basically. I'm using up some yarns. This is yarn by La Jolla, and I apologize, I don't actually have the colors on me because I've lost the bands. I just happened to remember the yarn and where I purchased it. So I did omit the garter stitch panel. I'm knitting this in, I believe, a size 8, so it'll be a little bit big. I am knitting long sleeve for her, and I did fade in the colors. It is super cute. She likes it already. This is reading a little bit more maroon on the camera, but it is actually a purple. So it goes into a white with purple flecks, and then a gray and purple, and then a darker purple. So, like I said, it's reading maroon on the camera, but it is super cute, and I'm almost done. I'll probably finish the sleeve off tonight, especially since I don't have to go to bed early because I can don't have to go to work tomorrow. Super excited about having a week of vacation. So excited. My second project is basically this. I've turned this into my my charity knitting bag. This is my very first Tanny Casey bag. Oh, I'm so excited. She was doing a charity run, and I apologize, I don't remember what charity she was giving away to on this particular batch. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see, Tanny Casey. I believe. So these are the medium-sized bags. This was, here we are. These are the waxed canvas in the medium size, and I'm trying to find, I know there was a charity in which she was giving these away, and I'm just going to try to find it really quick for you guys. I'll have to find the charity for you guys later and put it up on there. I do know that she was giving away part of the proceeds to charity, and I just don't remember which ones at the moment. Oh, here it is. 100% of the sales of these pouches this weekend were donated to charities within the Black community. I don't... Oh, there we go. An equal donation to 100% of the sales will be split to the United Negro College Fund and a local charity to benefit Black children later. And I believe she's in the Pennsylvania area, so it probably would have been a Pennsylvania-based charity. So, because, you know, this is, and I'm loving this waxed canvas, because the more you use it and crinkle it, the more it looks just amazing. I know. I love it. And it is hot pink, and I love it. There's a little pocket on the inside. It's super cute. I love this nice little leather strap, and then she's got a super cute little beaded zipper pull on it. Love the whole thing. Anyway, so my bag is being used for all my charity hats. So I have another Barley hat in the works. This one is being knit with Knit Picks Brava in the bulky weight. This is some yarn I had. If you've been a long time viewer, I used this on my cloudy Sunday sweater that I then frogged. So now I'm using the yarn for charity. And then I've got leftover skeins from the purple and pink hat. Those will be knit up next. So yeah, so this has become my little charity pouch. And I can just grab it, and it has everything I need in it for these hats, the stitch markers, and just everything. So it's all ready to go, which is super fun. Alrighty, so that's it for works in progress. That's really all I have in the needles. Now I do have some needle adjacent projects coming up. I have a test knit for Tristan Molina Dragon Hard Yarn coming up. I am doing the summer court tank top and test knit. It is a fingering weight tank top with lace at the bottom and beadwork. So this will be my first time doing a beaded project. I'm actually knitting two sizes because she has a kids version and an adult version. So I'm going to be knitting, oh, there they are. They're over here, not next to me. My daughter's version is going to be knit up in this duck wool that I have left over, and this pretty blues with pinks and purples, and this is on their silky singles base. And then my version, I'm not going to bead my daughter's version, because knowing my daughter, one, she probably won't wear it even though I knit it for her, and two, she will try to pick the beads off. My version is going to be done in Emma's yarn, Crazy Beautiful Color, in the color Orbit, and this is one of her Hella Hanks. It is the Superwash Merino Cashmere Nylon blend. It is 150 grams, 600 yards, and it is just pretty. Look at all of that color. I just love it. And I have some beads coming in various, I couldn't make up my mind on bead color, so I have 4 different shades coming. So we'll see what happens. And a Fleagle tool, because I don't own a Fleagle tool and I've never beaded before. So I'm super excited about that one. The other project adjacent, or needle adjacent project I have is actually a crochet project. I bought this is also a stash enhancement. I bought the Chelsea Lux hand-dyed mini rainbow kit. One of her mini kits. Let's see if I can get them all. There we go. Pardon the crinkling. One of her mini kits that she put together for the Casa Pinka Blanket of Calm. So I'm going to knit that, and I'm going to hold it double with some Bare Capretta Superwash from Knit Picks, just to kind of give it some bulk, because I already have a couple of fingering weight blankets. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That one should be fun. I have to actually sit down and wrap my head around the directions for the Blanket of Calm blanket. I've tried once, and I don't think I was in the right headspace. So I'm just going to try again. So yeah, super excited about that. And then these are my other purchases. I have purchases from 3 different dyers. So let me show you my Shirsty Cat Designs yarn purchase. The camera is not blowing these out, you guys. This yellow is that bright. I cannot express how awesome this highlighter yellow is. I'm not normally one for super bright colors. However, I got these as a second halfway tee, or second halfway sweater. I don't know that I'll knit the halfway again. I may do a different sweater, but I got the mohair. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? And again, my camera's not blowing out that yellow. That yellow is that gorgeous. So on the sample that I knit, I changed mohair colors instead of changing the solid. Well, there's also the option that you can keep the same mohair throughout and then just change colors. So I was thinking I could hold these two together. I think these will really kind of mellow down. I think the mohair will really mellow down that highlighter yellow. And then I'll put these on the bottom, and then I'll switch it out for the purple at the top. It's closer to my face. I wouldn't want the yellow down so close to my face. So I may still do it. I really love these color combos together. This color is called Highlight. This color is called Evo. And this is the her alpaca base. It's called Alpaca Poof. So I'm sorry, it's not a mohair. It is a baby Surrey alpaca and silk. And this is the color Nixie. So these are all pretty. And these are all from Shirsty Cat, who is Kelly Straub. She does amazing colors, and she is really nice. I've met Kelly on a couple of occasions. She runs the Allentown Fiber Festival, which unfortunately had to be canceled this year due to COVID shutdowns. She is in Pennsylvania. So they had Governor Wolf up there had quite a few restrictions. I think a little bit harsher of restrictions than Governor Hogan here in Maryland. However, you know, people want to complain about the restrictions, but our 2 states are 2 of the states that are rapidly going down in cases versus some of the other states. So we're, I say we, but most people are very happy with the actions that our governors have taken here in like the Delmarva area and the Pennsylvania areas. So I will tell you, one of the fascinating things that has come out of this whole coronavirus COVID-19 thing is that I now know the names of more governors than I have ever known in my entire life. You know, there's Whitmer, there's Kemp, there's DeSantis, there's Wolf, there's Northam, there's Hogan, there's Bowser, there's, well, Mayor Bowser is from D.C., you know, there's Cuomo, there's, like, I didn't know. So now I know all these different governors. It's really, really interesting. Okay, so then my next purchase is some Yarn Cafe Creations. This is the colorway Dusk. This is her Superwash Merino DK weight. I bought 2 skeins of this to do a ripple tank from Jamie May, and I will probably do that at some point. I have not caked these up, obviously, so it's further down my priority list. I do have a pile of yarn over here that is caked up and ready to go, so I may work on those because they already have patterns, and sometimes the thought of caking my yarn up is just exhausting. You ever have that? That's the way it is for me right now. And then my last purchase is some more Chelsea Luxe. I actually bought these 2 separate times. This is the new slub base. Have you guys seen these slubby bases? Oh, I'm loving them. As much as I, you know, talked about how, like, not with you guys necessarily, but I have talked about in the past how I hated thick and thin yarn and stuff like that. But this, I don't know, this is a little bit more refined and a lot more, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But anyway, this is the Chelsea Luxe hand dyed. This is her confetti colorway, and she is calling this her cobblestone base. It is 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, and it is a fingering weight, sort of a fingering weight, US 3 or 5 needle, and it is 438 yards on 100, I believe this is 100 grams. Doesn't say. Doesn't actually say the grams on this, but I think it's 100 grams. Anyway, I got 3 of these. This is sweater weights quantity for me. I think I may be doing a very loose gauge. Sorry guys, got cut off. This is a sweater weight quantity for me. I'm not 100% sure what kind of sweater I'm going to knit yet. It may just be a very loose weight gauge, oversized flax. Unless I find a different pattern. I did sign up for a test knit that used a slubby yarn, and it was sort of like a boxy tee using a fingering weights yarn. If I get that, maybe I'll use this, or maybe I'll wait for that pattern to come out and use this. I'm not 100% sure yet. Don't know. It's not caked up, so it won't be done anytime soon. Either way. So, but that's it, guys. That's what I have today. My huge pile of finished projects. My itty bitty, in comparison, sized pile of whips, and then my purchases. So I'm hoping that this won't be the last time I podcast for a while. I'm hoping to get back to normal podcasting, but again, it just depends on how life is going and how my mental health is going. And today was a rare occasion where I felt the motivation to sit down and talk with you guys, so I'm hoping it happens again really soon. I really do love podcasting and love being able to talk to you guys, even if it's a one, sided conversation. I really enjoy it. And as much as I lack the motivation to do it sometimes when my mental health is going, it's sometimes forcing myself to sit down and do it really helps bring me out of the funk that I am in. So hopefully I'll be able to find the motivation to do it again, and it won't be as long in between recordings. So, but until then, I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, wear your masks, and get out there and have some fun this summer. Bye, guys.